want you to hit me as hard as you can.
We'll tear your soul apart.
I've seen things you people wouldn't believe.
Now the dream is over. It's acted away.
Hey everybody, welcome to Talking Movies. My name is Josh.
My name's Chris.
I'm Clay.
And this is the show where we, pick a movie every week and we discuss it. Last week I picked The Visitor from 1979, crazy Italian horror sci-fi movie. We had a really fun discussion about that one. And then Chris picked the movie for this week, which is Dagon. Is that correct pronunciation? Dagon?
Yeah,
Dagon. And from 2001. It's directed by Stuart Gordon, based on a Lovecraft short story. Gordon known for Reanimator, From Beyond. What else?
Castle Freak.
Yeah, Dolls, a lot. I mean, I think he's got the biggest catalog of Lovecraft, in his filmography.
Yeah,
he seems to return to it again and again.
Yeah, and they're all kind of campy, not super serious.
Mm-hmm.
B movies, I guess.
Yeah. Chris, would you mind describing the plot for us?
Sure. Yeah, it's I don't actually really know like what brought these people together. I didn't catch that, I don't think, the first time, and I don't think it's really important, but basically this guy and a girl are on a boat with I think another guy who they're like in business with and his wife or something, and they just have like a wreck off the coast of some Spanish country and
seaside town.
Like the girl like breaks her leg or something like that, and the younger couple, they go into shore to try to get some help, but in the meantime, like, they get attacked by something. They try to go back and rescue them, and they're gone. And then all this crazy stuff starts happening back on the mainland.
Yeah, it's a wacky movie.
She runs to like a hotel, and I thought it was really funny because it's this really ugly little rainy, everything's just soggy town, right? And she's running. All of a sudden, there's this purple hotel sign. I was like, hey. Try to use the phone. The guy's he's like an octopus sort of.
Well, they did somehow none of them noticed that all of the people have like gills and are like deathly pale, and there's no like warning that maybe we should not go into the town.
Well, I thought the minute the guy was like, hey, listen, somebody needs to get back on the boat. And somebody needs to stay here and wait for the police.
Let's split them
I
up,
was like, nah.
Nope.
Yeah, this is gonna go wrong.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's it.
Yeah. Normally I would try and do a little bit of a history lesson or something, but there's not really much for this one. I thought about getting the Blu-ray. There's like a Vestron Blu-ray, but it's like $30 and it was kind of short notice. So it's like kind of tough to pull the trigger on that one. Yeah. And there wasn't even much for special features on it. So didn't feel like I hadn't seen it. So I wasn't really sure. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's it's based off of a couple of different Lovecraft stories. I think the Dagon is actually like a five-page story, so he combined it with another story. I forget what it's called. It's like the something of Innsmouth or something like that. It's another novella or something.
Yeah.
But apparently it's supposed to be fairly as a Lovecraft adaptation, it's considered like one of the better ones.
It was pretty It was pretty out there. Like I was feeling the vibes for sure.
Yeah.
You know, compared to what did we watch? The Beyond that was pretty Lovecraftian. I was like, man, this is maybe even more so. I mean, it felt a little more true to his artistic style, maybe. Because normally, like I've read maybe one or two Lovecraft stories. They're real brief. They're really like, punch in the gut at the end.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I've read a little bit, and they're very abstract. They're kind of they don't. It's a lot of explaining the unexplainable, like telling you that these things are like incomprehensible to the human mind and stuff. So it leaves a lot to the imagination.
I definitely felt like that at the end of the movie. I was like, but why? But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Why is not that important?
No, I mean, I think when you're getting into a Lovecraft story, you know that you're not going to have a happy ending. It's going to be pretty nasty and twisted and probably just sort of suddenly end. Just kind of end on a downer.
Yeah. I mean, but it's also like what, 2001 or 2002 or something like that, early
2001,
early 2000s. I mean, it could have just been made in the 90s. It really had a 90s vibe to it. The CG was terrible.
Yeah,
it was fun though. It got the job done.
Yeah,
and it wasn't like overused. It was like in like small like snippets and stuff, like, or you could tell there's like, this is what we have, you get this one shot of something, but it wasn't like a CGI fest.
No, it wasn't.
And all I mean, like all the gill people and stuff look pretty good. They're all pretty slimy and nasty looking. There's lots of like prosthetic tentacles and stuff. Those are cool. So
I was pretty impressed with the flaying scene. Actually, I didn't see that one coming. I was like, man, that was gnarly. Yeah,
that was one I was going to point out. Like before, I mean, you always ask this question, so I'll beat you to it. But that was probably my favorite scene in the movie. They did a really good job with it.
Yeah, that was nasty.
I'd have to say that was mine too. Except I can't. There was a reaction I really liked where they were like, she kept calling him. What did she keep calling him? Paulito or Paulo or something like that? And he's like, my name's Paul Martin. And he was laying on the ground all beat up. That was a really choice scene, I thought. That was campy as hell, and I loved his reaction. I was just like, hell yeah, man.
He's like a dollar store Jeffrey Combs. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's wearing like the same glasses and everything. He looks so much like Jeffrey Combs. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. He was terrible though. Like he really almost ruined the movie for me. Like I watched like the first half or so, and I've been like, I don't know about this one. And I like stopped last night and I picked it back up today and watched the second half. And I enjoyed the second half. The second half's way more enjoyable than the first half.
Yeah.
But like his character is just it's just awful.
I mean, he's definitely supposed to be sort of just a wimp. Like he's the guy on the computer. He's like checking the stocks and stuff.
I could relate to that a bit. I was kind of upset for him. I was a little heartbroken when she just chucked his computer right out of the ocean. I was like, that was a little extreme. The guy needs to trade. Let him trade.
I was wondering if you were going to say something about that.
Like, he didn't have any backups and stuff. Like, man.
That's funny.
Thanks. And then he's like, I love you. I'm like, man, it's just
like, how do you think
livelihood away.
How do you think we paid for this boat trip, bitch?
Right? You better go swimming. Yeah, he was a little weak sauce for me. I felt like the first half of the movie, he like was running away from the people, the town people, and then he was running away from the town people and running away from the town people. I was like, oh shit,
man, the
like,
whole
this
movie
is
is that
a vicious cycle of trying to escape from the baddie bads, and I was just worried that the whole movie is going to be like that, but it recovered.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I was starting to feel that way as well. It is. I mean, there's not that much plot. It is basically everyone gets picked off, and then he's alone, getting chased through this town for quite a while.
Yeah,
and then there's like 10 minutes of lore that the guy with a screwed up nose gives. Split nose.
Yeah, that guy was awesome. I love that guy.
Yeah, he was awesome.
I hope you had subtitles on, because otherwise I don't know how you could figure out what he was saying.
Yeah, well, I was watching on Shudder. I'm assuming you guys did too. Like,
yeah, I did.
All the Spanish was just foreign language.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I mean,
Help me out here.
Yeah, I don't know if the Blu-ray would have had actual translations for some of that stuff.
I don't think so.
Oh yeah, I don't think you really needed it,
No.
but it was kind of frustrating how they just kept throwing Spanish in there, and
I feel like I could pick up on essentially what they were saying to each other.
Yeah.
Which I think was the point. I don't think there was supposed to be subtitles for it, but yeah, there is quite a bit of that. Yeah.
So, go ahead.
I was gonna say that guy, the old hermit guy.
Yeah, Ezekiel or something.
Yeah, his let me pull up his name. He is from the movie Sorcerer. He's the Spanish guy in Sorcerer.
Spanish guy.
Francisco Rabel.
Okay. I think I can picture him.
Yeah. He's the guy. I think he's bald and he's got a little mustache or something in Sorcerer, but he's one of the guys on the truck.
Awesome.
One of the criminals.
Awesome. Yeah, like I know at the end of the movie they had like, this movie is dedicated to whatever his name was, and it was him.
Yeah, he died like 2 months before it came out or something. I think it was his last movie. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured would happen.
Yeah, he's actually like a classic actor. He's in Belle de Jour. Tommy Up, Tommy Down.
My jam right there.
Yeah, he's in some good stuff. Hotel Fear. Yeah, he's got some classic roles. So
nice.
I didn't really recognize him, to be honest, until at the end. He's pretty craggy, but
I never would have noticed unless you brought it up or I went digging myself.
Yeah, I was kind of trying to look up some things before we started, and I realized, and the thing at the end made me curious, so I looked it up.
Yeah,
but I thought that was cool. Sorcerer's awesome. So
that is. Yeah. I mean, his character kind of brought the plot together. They were, like I said, all the chase scenes and all that stuff was kind of getting old.
Yeah.
And brought it back in with the bit of backstory and tells you about the the god and the cult, I guess, whatever you want to call it, takes over the town and sacrificing people to the god.
And that's when it picked up to me. Like from that point on, which I did the same thing you did, Chris. I watched half of it, about 45 minutes last night, and then finished it when I got home from work. And it was like right there.
Yep.
Where I picked up and I was like, oh, this is pretty good. And then it really like snowballs into some crazy stuff with the flaying and the hanging naked ladies from chains. That's
I was gonna say the priestess, like tentacled priestess chick that he was like having dreams from, and turns out to be his sister. And
I was on board with him just going with her until it was his sister.
Yeah,
and I was like, I'm out now.
I was kind of
such a small world.
Right. Well, so they explain that really quickly at the end. Like he's related to her. Like he got separated, and then
like they said, like his mother got taken to the town
Like, yeah.
And I mean, I got impregnated by Dagon, and I guess like sent on her way. They don't really explain like why. It wasn't like a
Yeah.
You're the chosen one or like something ridiculous like that, but just like they just send him away expecting him to come back at some point.
Which I guess that's like supposed to explain all the dreams he's having, because like I think the movie starts with the dream of him like swimming and seeing the mermaid chick, and he keeps having the dreams throughout the movie. Like I guess it's supposed to tie it into his destiny or whatever. Yeah. I assume that's probably in this short story, but
yeah.
I like that whole concept a lot because I'm reading this book on premonitions. And like, all of a sudden I'm watching this movie where this guy has these crazy premonitions about his past and the future. And I was like, yeah, premonitions, even if it's, a little.
Yeah.
I genuinely thought that he was dead when he got arrested. And then because initially Old Man Split Nose was like, hey, they got killed. Are you sure? He was asking him, and he was like, yeah, I saw the girls get killed. He saw one girl get killed, and I saw the other one, and he was like, no. And then he got arrested, and the girls were there, and I was like, oh snap, he's dead. Like he's in another dimension now, and he just thinks he's alive this whole time. I get it, but that wasn't the case at all. So somehow Split Nose was wrong. How did that whole thing?
He was pretty drunk, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I've said some crazy stuff when I was drunk.
He seemed pretty sure of himself, but I guess he wasn't.
No, they were dead. I saw it.
Definitely. Yeah. But they're definitely dead. But yeah. I mean, from that all that stuff was pretty fun. I mean, I don't have that much more to say on it, to be honest. Like I'm kind of stretching for.
I'd like the part where they, I guess they got gold thrown on the shores. And I thought that was interesting how they were just gathering up gold. They could damn near gather it up in baskets, right? And his family chucks the gold piece back in the ocean. Like, the hell with that. We don't need gold. And then he turns out to be, I guess, the one who doesn't transform into a tentacle beast. And he's like ostracized and alcoholic because he doesn't fit in anymore, I guess.
Yeah, they just let him live because he was crazy.
Yeah,
for some reason. But like,
I thought it was. Go ahead.
Sorry. I was just gonna say that like they were saying they didn't have any sacrifices for, however long, but they just let the crazy guy live.
Right. I mean, there's plenty of sacrifice.
They had him there the whole time.
We don't even like you. You can just
like
die.
The drunk old uncle. You can't kill him. You need him around.
Yeah.
He's a reminder of what we used to look like. But yeah, I thought that was a kind of a cool thing. Like the rejection of money led to salvation to some degree, but he was still self-destructive. So, yeah, it was interesting. And then they're like, we have all the money in the world. It means nothing. We need Dagon. It was cool. I liked it, man. It was,
No,
it was definitely out there.
I really ended up digging it a lot, actually. Yeah. Like I enjoyed it quite a bit. I mean, I don't think I've seen a Stuart Gordon movie that I didn't really like.
I will say that what put it over the top for me was the chick with the, on the scaffolding getting lowered into the pit.
Yeah.
I was like, that's it.
Pretty dope.
I think you can add that one to your letterbox list.
Oh, snap.
Was there blood?
Yes, she was.
I think there was blood on the boobs.
Yeah, they were like.
Oh, there was. Yeah. She was getting all carved up. That's right.
Yeah, I mean, they like dipped her in and then took her back out, and she was like oily or something.
Yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah. There was blood there.
It works. Doesn't matter. Yeah. She had like little cuts all over her body. So.
Yes. Yeah.
Well done. Good call.
Good. Yeah, I need to think about that. That's funny.
That's a very important list I'm building.
Yeah, the ending was great. It really brought it back in.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
I kind of had to get over that hump of the beginning of the movie, but
yeah,
I think I like the campiness of it. Like, the last we watched The Visitor, and that was super, weird and Was it campy? Would you say it was campy?
Yeah.
What is it?
I guess
What's
so.
the humor there?
It's
it wasn't
definitely not intentional.
It was not intentional. No, this
Yeah.
one was intentional. So we
Yeah,
can
I
call
feel
it.
like
If it's camp, right? If it's camp, it's intentional.
yeah. I think I kind of struggled with that the first time I watched. Reanimator was the first Stuart Gordon movie I watched. I remember I'd heard how good it was and stuff, and I watched it and I was like, yeah, it's pretty good. I liked all the effects and stuff, but I kind of was turned off by the campiness. I don't think I connected to it the first time.
I don't like it. Yeah.
You don't like it?
You're not a Reanimator?
Really?
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
I was gonna ask
4 or 5 times, and it's never connected to me.
Really?
It's not my favorite either. Like I've come around on it quite a bit. It's sort of in that Evil Dead. I know you're not a big Evil Dead fan either. Yeah.
I guess camp just doesn't really work for me much, but
yeah,
it's all good.
So Stuart Gordon started out as like a theater director, but like not like your average theater director. He was like an avant-garde, like pushing the envelope kind of guy.
Really?
Yeah, so coming from that angle, it kind of clicks for me because all his stuff feels like theater. It's like all the actors are like projecting to the cheap seats, they're all they're it's not the kind of acting that we see now. Everyone's sort of minimalist or more, realism is, for the most part, where this is intentionally, I feel like, more of a theater performance. That's kind of his style. Once I kind of realized that, Jeffrey Combs is just kind of that way. I feel like I don't know his background, but I feel like he's probably a theater guy. He's got to be.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, it makes me think about Possession a lot.
Yeah,
because
I can see that.
I mean, another kind of like Lovecraft story a bit, and I mean, all of I'm always bad for Zulawski's.
Yeah.
All of his movies are just very overly dramatic. The acting is very, very dramatic and theatrical.
Yeah.
I mean, like the first time I watched Possession, I was like, I don't know what the hell this movie is. Like,
yeah. I mean, these movies kind of remind me of like more of a like 50s or like a 40s 50s classic monster movie or something. It's just that kind of more of that theatrical style. They're really going for it in a different way. Well, so if you look at it through that lens, I think intention, if you can pick out the intention of the artist, it kind of helps you appreciate things. And when I think of it through that lens, I'm like, okay, I can get on board with that. If that's what you're going for, I get it. I kind of like that.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah.
So, do you like any of Stuart Gordon's stuff, Hugh? Have you ever seen From Beyond or anything?
I have, and I thought it was okay. I think I've seen it like 1 or 2 times. I was really like, oh, that was cool, whatever.
Yeah.
Reanimator, I've seen. My son loves Reanimator, so I've seen it a few times. And this last time, I kind of warmed up to it a bit. I was kind of like, haha, I lightened up a little bit. I was expecting, like you said, a bit more serious note and not so theatrical, I guess. But now that you describe it that way, I probably will watch it, with a different frame of mind. Honestly, I didn't really know. I think it's all about how you're ready to receive a movie sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times I watch it like I'm really trying to read into it and find out like the meaning behind the meaning. And sometimes it's just, like not there. There's just like,
right.
And like this one had an effort at a twist where the chicks were supposed to be dead, but hey, surprise, they weren't dead. And I was kind of like, was that the hook? Was that the twist? And I was looking for something deeper, and there wasn't anything deeper. The guy was just drunk. But so yeah, I kind of read too far into things sometimes, and I think that's to my detriment when it's like just fun. It's supposed to be a fun for fun movie,
Mm,
and I'm like, yeah. So no, man, I don't really with them much, honestly.
I got you. No,
Yeah.
I get it. I mean, I try to do that too. Certain things like this sort of thing. I wasn't really trying to read too much into it. Like this is
Yeah.
more on the the B campy B movies. Like let's just go for a ride type of thing. Like I think that there is, you brought up the stuff with the throwing the gold coins back and stuff like that. I think that probably is more meaning from the source material than maybe something that Gordon was really thinking about.
Mhm.
But if something like this, I don't think
Go too
there's
far.
much to be, but not much to be gained. But I mean, I like to do that. I love to find the deeper meanings of things, or like that's why I love digging into like a filmmaker, because you can kind of see the things that they're going through, or like like how they're changing over the course of a series of their films. Like a good example is The Brood, David Cronenberg's The Brood, all about divorce and child separation and stuff. And like he was going through a divorce at the time, and his wife like ran away with his daughter and joined a cult and all this stuff. And it's like that to me is his like most red hot like searing movie, because it's like it's him pouring out all of his BS on the page. Like
Yeah, he lived it.
yeah, he lived it, and it's like it's him putting his twist in it, and I love that movie. So stuff like that is fascinating.
Yeah, it's cool.
That
Yeah,
is awesome.
I was gonna say about like Reanimator too. Like, I find it always kind of hard with like things that people like put up on a pedestal
Yeah,
too. That it is the Stuart Gordon movie, and it's when everybody talks about it, it's a classic, cult classic, whatever you want to call it. So like you hear things about something for years, and you finally decide to check it out, and you kind of have this idea in your head, and it's not what you think it's going to be.
Yeah,
That it can really throw you off. I mean, I still think Reanimator is his best movie. I mean, I like From Beyond a lot.
that's my favorite. I prefer that.
But I still think just Reanimator is a bit more of a complete, movie. It's kind of got everything.
Yeah,
From Beyond is a little bit like this was. Like it's a little kind of boring, not boring, but it's a little slow in the start, and it kind of takes a little while to kind of build up. And I mean that could be good too, but I don't know. I just think Reanimator is just pretty much fun from beginning to end.
that's true. The pacing wise, it probably is like the most consistent.
Yeah.
It's pretty much it goes from beginning to end for sure.
Yeah. I mean, and I definitely if you would ask me if you do it, do I want a zombie movie, or do I want like a Lovecraftian monster movies? I want the Lovecraftian monster movie.
Yeah.
Zombies.
I agree with that.
Could take or leave, but still, I think the movie works a little better. But
I do love a rainy setting. Like if you can do a rainy movie set somehow, I'll do that all day long. I wonder how, like, do they just shoot on rainy days, or like pick a rainy location, or is it just sprayed into the air as rain? I mean, how do they do that?
Yeah, I'd imagine they've probably got rain machines for something like that. Yeah. Well, if you're doing a consistently rainy movie, you kind of have to, because you can't just wait for rainy days.
It would make production a complete mess.
Yeah, I mean, I think
guys,
those are pretty much
forecast.
Yeah, right. Every 2 weeks we shoot for 3 hours while it's raining, and it has to the light has to be in the right place. So yeah. No, I'm pretty sure those are all sets for the most part. And it's like covered sets. Well, they're controlling the lighting. They're turning on rain machine and stuff like that. Yeah, for the most part. Yeah. I will say the way that the movie is shot is the thing that bothered me the most. Like the CGI had its moments, but it felt, I don't know if you guys felt this, but it felt like really claustrophobic. Like a lot of the times the camera was like really, really close to everything.
Yeah.
It made
Yeah.
it feel like more of like a TV movie. There's just no scope to it. Like you get a few wide shots, but like if you can't, if you're like on everybody all the time, it just makes it feel very compressed. That kind of bugged me.
Yeah.
Especially you've got some good like scenery, like you've got like a beach town and stuff, like, I wish,
But even
I'm
then,
sure
like,
it's budget constraints. You probably had like, this is my camera, this is the lens that I have. That's, that's probably it. But
even
they
like the
probably
shot
weren't on
on the
beach.
dock. Go ahead.
Yeah, so they probably weren't on a beach, and a lot of the like water stuff was the CGI parts.
That's true. Yeah, I mean there were on some. Yeah, it wasn't some of it was real, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think some of it was, but like, I don't know, like the underneath shot of the boat and like the swimming, the swimming and the. I mean, I think some of it was practical, like I don't know, like the shapes and stuff that were underwater. But I don't know. It was a mixture, like you said in the beginning. It wasn't super overdone.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I do love that kind of setting, like a beach town. Kind of reminds me of something like The Fog, or we watched that movie for the podcast a while back, the Dead and Buried.
Yeah,
another like seaside town. It's just kind of a cool setting for a movie. So I definitely dug that about it.
Yeah, agreed. I love that. I'm a sucker for that.
Yeah,
Jaws, whatever.
Yeah, of course, Jaws. Yeah.
The thing that bothered me the most, I would say, is the music, the constant. Like even in the credits scene, I kind of was like trying to do stuff around the house, and the credits ran for a bit, and I was like, "Oh my god, this is driving me crazy."
Yeah,
it's just
I get it.
Music.
There's not too much going on. Just a lot of
Cult
chanting.
moaning. Yeah.
Yeah. But overall, I thought it was quite a bit of fun. I'd probably put it at the below the other Lovecraft Stuart Gordon movies, but not significantly. Pretty fun.
Yeah.
Definitely pretty
I'd
fun.
say I liked it more than the others, probably.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, it might be time for a revisit of some of those other ones.
Yeah. I just got the 4K of From Beyond. I'll probably watch it in October. It's been like probably like a year since I've watched it.
Yeah.
But
I got that too, and I haven't watched it either.
So I'll have to check it out again.
Yeah,
I feel like that one has the most, like, the best practical effects of the ones that I've seen. Like all those goopy monsters and stuff. Like I think that's why I liked it more. It's just had a little bit more. It felt like it had a slightly larger budget than Reanimator, so it just felt like it. And the cosmic stuff, I think I prefer over just the more zombie stuff, like you were saying.
Yeah,
but
okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think that pretty much wraps it up as far as that goes. What did you guys watch anything this week that's worth talking about?
Yeah, speaking of like seaside stuff, I guess to close out the same thing I brought up last week, but I finished Midnight Mass, which is set on an island. So yeah, it's all seaside, fisherman type stuff. It was good. It didn't finish as strong as I would have hoped. Like the end, like, I don't know, without spoiling it, it just kind of like meh. It's so serious and so well done in the first, is it like 6 or 7 episodes? Like the first like 6 episodes. And the last one, it just kind of like, I don't know. It doesn't ruin it, but it just kind of like, it takes it from like a 4.5 to like a 4.
So I didn't realize it, but I had actually watched that directly after Haunting of Hill House, and for some boneheaded reason, like it didn't resonate with me that I had seen that before, and I
Okay.
went looking for it on Netflix that night. I was like, "Oh snap, I've already seen this,"
Yeah.
and it was exactly like you said. Like I was super into it, and then it was kind of like, "Oh, we need to wrap this up. Just wrap it up," and it was
Did it
good though.
feel rushed or something? What would you say?
Yeah, I mean, just it's okay. It's how like 5 or 6 years old now. It's whatever. I mean, unless you don't want to spoil it for
It's
you.
vampires, right?
Yes, it's vampires. It's like the priest goes on like a voyage or whatever, and he runs into a angel, and the
Okay.
angel turns him, and he goes back to town as a younger version of himself. And basically, like they just start to kind of like take over. He's feeding them this blood and slowly like taking over the town. And then, like at the very end of the movie, he just goes, "I changed my mind. I don't want to do this anymore."
Oh wow.
But like the whole show, he has this like bitchy chick with him the whole time,
Okay.
and then she's kind of like, I guess, like the real bad guy of the show, because she just kind of goes with what he started and goes even harder. So I don't know. And then everybody dies.
That does seem anticlimactic. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
Haunting
like,
of Hill House blew it away, honestly.
really?
Yeah.
Is that? Oh yeah, I was thinking of, because it's got Haunting of Hill House and another one.
Blind Manor,
Blind
I
Man.
think.
Yeah, that one's not as good either. Hill House is definitely cream of the crop.
Okay, good to know.
But it's
Yeah.
it's emotional, like, and I like emotional stuff. So if you're not emo, then Hill House probably isn't for you. So, but it's
the show's so well done. It's all character driven stuff, and it's really good, fleshed out characters. It makes you feel for the characters. It makes you hate the bad characters. And man, they just kind of dropped the ball at the end of Midnight Mass. It was kind of a bummer.
Like Netflix I feel like puts a lot of pressure on producers or directors, or they're always like, "Oh, this show doesn't work, let's just throw it in the garbage." It feels like they're constantly pivoting and putting new content out and like ending things that shouldn't end in ways that and so I feel like they're sort of just forcing people. And I don't know if that's the case with that specific story, because Hill House had a few seasons, I feel like maybe 2 or 3, but this one only had 1. So I'm not sure that was the case. Maybe they were like, "Hey, wrap it up, dude," and he was like, "Okay, it's over."
I mean, maybe he ran out of money, and like at the very last little bit, no more money, and just like, okay, that's it right here.
Yep.
Done.
Interesting.
I don't know.
I
And
don't
they
know.
have
and
he has a new show coming out next month. Fall House of Usher. But Shakespeare,
right.
not Shakespeare.
Edgar Allan Poe, isn't it?
Heck yeah, man.
Yeah, Poe's story. I watched a trailer for it. It's like, man, it doesn't look good. It's like a modernized retelling of a Poe's story that just looks
Oh.
Yeah,
it looks
I watched it too, and I was like, I don't know. Yeah. I like the director. I mean, I haven't seen his TV work, but all his movies I've really liked. So and he's worked with almost exclusively Netflix. Like all of this stuff, almost all of it is Netflix. I think Hush and Gerald's Game and all those are Netflix, and so I feel like he's got some clout there that they would let him pretty much do whatever he wanted. So that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah. I don't know. Who knows? I mean, maybe it'll be good, but maybe just not for me.
Yeah.
I'll probably go maybe watch Hill House, if anything.
Yeah. I might do that too. I went to go watch it actually, and I realized that I didn't have Netflix. I canceled it a while back. So I might resubscribe to it, because there's like a ton of Netflix stuff coming out.
Yeah.
Really soon. They like because of the strike, the writer strikes right now. Netflix is like scooping up all of the movies because the studios are not putting hardly anything out right now.
And they'll go international. They don't give a damn. They'll go to like Germany or Philippines, and they'll be like, "Hey, let's make some shows." Like, it's
well, the thing about the studios too is they want the actors to promote their movies, and they're on strike too. It's not just the writers, so they're trying to wait all this stuff out so that they can have their big actors promote it later on. And Netflix doesn't really care. They just put it out. So I think they just bought Richard Linklater's new movie too. So I'm like, fuck, I'm gonna have to get Netflix.
There was something that came out not too long ago. I wanted to watch. They cloned Tyrone.
Yeah.
Did I hear about that? I think Randy said he watched it, and I've heard a lot of people say it was good. Not a big. I think it's Jamie Foxx. I'm not a big Jamie Foxx.
And what's his name from Star Wars?
Attack the Block. Yeah, John Boyega. Yeah. I want to watch that. I heard a lot of good things.
Yeah, I would like to see that as well. I'm gonna have to do Netflix again.
Yeah, there's another big one because I know Apple's putting out the new Scorsese, right?
Yes.
Isn't there? I thought Netflix had like a big one later in the year.
Well, the David Fincher movie, The Killer, is Netflix. Yeah, that's Netflix.
Is that one out? That's out already, isn't it?
No, it's not out yet. No, I think it's October or November. I can't remember.
That's pretty soon.
I think that one's getting a theatrical window as well. And I know that Flower Moon is getting like a full theatrical release.
Yeah, I definitely want to watch those in the theater.
Oh my god. But it's only the streamers that are putting it out. Like all the big movies from the studios, they all did like Dune and everything. They just pulled them.
Yeah. Oh, they're gonna release Aquaman 2.
Oh yeah.
I did see The Nun too. Ooh.
I was saying that must be a big steaming pile if they're just gonna go forward with that. They're just
I mean,
how was that?
We all knew that The Nun was a dog turd, so not a surprise there. It was just like a movie. I watched it and I was like, it had some scary parts. Like there were some very scenic kind of scary things.
Some atmosphere.
It just doesn't make any sense. Like when I'm watching it, I'm just like, y'all just make up the rules as you go. Like I don't like that. The Exorcist didn't do that. We're talking about demons here, and for me, there's a nice frame of reference in the world of demonology. Use it, but don't just sit here and make stuff up for the hell of it for CGI's sake. So, I mean, lame. You just don't even. I would just be like, listen, man, you don't know anything about demons or ghosts or demonology. Like, why are you even writing this movie? It's anyway, but it sucked. It wasn't good. If you want to have a little bit of scares here and there, like you can go see it, have a good time.
Yeah.
But
are you a fan of like the Conjurings and stuff like that?
Dude, the first two Conjurings, the first Conjuring especially scared the hell out of me. Like
I was terrified of that movie.
and I'm almost like a little bit intimidated to watch it again. I've seen it probably 3 times, and every time I'm like, I mean, it's a nail biter. But 2 was pretty good, and I've watched every single one of them. But it's a good franchise, I would say. If we're talking about franchises and like Insidious, or what are some other franchises, horror franchises, like
more recent ones.
It's pretty solid. But The Nun took it in a direction that it never should have gone. So
I think I had only seen the first one, and I hadn't watched it since it originally came out, but I remember liking it a lot.
Yeah.
The second one's good too. I mean, that's where the Nun comes from the second movie.
Yeah.
Which I liked quite a bit, but I was like, I don't need a whole spinoff about the Nun. That was not even. Yeah. I like the in the second one they have that one character. I think it's not the Slender Man, but there was like this like weird character with like long arms and legs and like spin. Do you remember that?
It's been a good 5 years.
There was a character like that, and Conjuring 2, and I was like, that's the one that needs a spin-off. He was cool.
Yeah.
Not the damn nun, you know. But sorry to interrupt, Chris.
Oh no, I got one more. I got my friend watching The Skin I Live In, and we were talking about people having problems or something like that, and doing movies that's, you know, you mentioned The Brood, and I wondered, like, I know Antonio Banderas and Melanie Griffith have had years of trials and tribulations, like with her addictions and things like that. And I think this movie came out like 3 years before they got divorced. They came out in 2011 and they got divorced in 2014. But I was, you know, my friend was like, I'm surprised Antonio Banderas did a movie like this. Like, this is just an odd movie with some very aggressive, you know, violence in it towards women. And so I started to think, I was like, man, I wonder if Antonio was like hard up for a paycheck, or if this was just like, he was like, the heck with it. I don't know. Do you know much about that, Chris?
Well, I mean,
Josh?
the director is Pedro Almodovar, which he's like started out his career with. He's like one of the big Spanish directors. So I think he would do anything that he asked him to do, I think.
So it was more of an artistic, I guess, reason.
Yeah, probably.
Than, personal reason. Yeah, well, that's
I'm not really sure of the backstory on that. I don't know the backstory of the director or Antonio Banderas, honestly, all that well, but
good stuff.
Did
you guys see anything?
I'm trying to think. I didn't get to watch very much other than Black Roses. Which is, you and I watched Black Roses at Alamo for Graveyard Shift, and that was a movie. You know, it was pretty fun, actually. It was really bad, but it was funny. And the guy next to Hugh would not shut up, so I was laughing so much at how annoyed Hugh was with it.
It just made me real tight. Like I could feel myself just getting even tighter.
He was so loose, and you were.
Man! I was like, I gotta just chill out here. And then we started joking around together, and I was like, good, you know.
You see that he got in trouble after the movie?
Did he?
Yeah, Robert like took him aside, and he was like, "Your levels were like way up here, and like you gotta calm down, man."
He scolded him.
Yeah, he scolded him. And then he was sitting like right outside, right by the door, like in a little booth, and he was just glaring. Like I
noticed that because I was like, man, it was really fun to sit next to you, and I walked by him, and he looked pissed at that point. He was sitting in the booth.
I was about to tell you about it. And then I saw him. I was like,
Well, why did they wait to the end of the movie to say anything to him?
I don't know. I don't know.
Mean, was he a regular? I mean, I know he's not one of the.
I don't know him, guys. But Robert acted like he kind of knew him or something.
Wow. So he was really like the guy sitting next to me was all just like, oh, Robert said this, and me and Robert that, and Robert, and I was kind of like, you know, okay, man, I know Robert too-ish. Like, we all see the guy. Like, he's not famous or anything. Holy shit. But I guess that probably, you know, he got slapped around a little bit by his icon, his little famous guy.
He was not happy. Yeah, he was definitely not happy. Wow. But it was fun. Like, everyone was laughing along with the movie. It was
terrible.
It was pretty terrible.
It deserved every bit of ham that guy threw at it. I mean, it deserved it bad. It was terrible.
Yeah, for sure. Other than that, I watched Master Gardener, which is the latest Paul Schrader movie, which was interesting, but I felt like it was kind of a failure. Just didn't quite connect. Like,
was it slow or?
Yeah, it's kind of slow. So it's about this. It's about this gardener for this like huge estate.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, but you find out that he was like a former neo-Nazi, like a reformed neo-Nazi. Like he like takes off his shirt to go to bed at one point. And he's got like all these tattoos all over his body, like white pride and Nazi swastikas and stuff all over him, and so the movie, like, the owner of the estate brings on this, like, her niece to come work there because her family had some trouble or something, and she's like, he's apprenticing her basically, and she's like a part black, like a mixed race girl, and it's kind of about him, you know, it's hard to explain really. It's kind of abstract, but it's about choosing love over hate and all these things, and all the trouble she's in. But it's like it just didn't really connect. Like there was a lot of they shortcutted a lot of things. I felt like it just didn't feel like it earned some of the stuff, and it was a little slow. But it was definitely a Paul Schrader movie. It's got the lonely man themes of like Taxi Driver and stuff like that. Which I don't know if you know anything about Paul Schrader, but he was like not Amish, but he like grew up in like a super religious household.
Oh wow! You and I have talked about that a bunch, yeah.
And like he left home and just went absolutely nuts. Basically, like dove deep into like every sin you can imagine, and that's where things like Taxi Driver come from. Just like him looking from the outside in on all of this whole world of debauchery, and so the Bring Out the Dead is him as well. So he's got a unique perspective on things. Hardcore. That's a Paul Schrader movie also.
I need to see that.
I'll bring it to you. I've got the Blu-ray.
Awesome.
He's a really interesting director.
I may want to just buy it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's probably worth.
It's good
worth
for the
buying.
collection.
Yeah, that one sounded interesting.
Yeah, that's a good one. I thought about putting that on the show actually at one point, but never got around to it. It was kind of hard to find for a while. They just put it out on Blu-ray, but it was kind of, I don't even think you could stream it for a while. But it's starting to go back into circulation now. But yeah, that's
cool.
That's pretty much it. Hugh, your week to pick.
Well, I'm deviating from my normal Hughdom, but I'm picking a Nicolas Cage movie, early Nicolas Cage movie.
All right.
And it's Vampire's Kiss. I don't know if
okay.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Yeah, I've been wanting to watch that.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I made a custom for Randy at one point because it used to be out of print.
Yeah, it just got a Blu-ray, I think.
Yeah, it just was it a Vestron or something?
It was like MVD or somebody. Yeah,
I'm so happy you guys haven't seen this movie.
No, I haven't. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I've seen a couple of clips from the movie, but.
And if you've seen Nicolas Cage, you have seen the movie. I mean, it's just.
Yeah. Oh, I've definitely seen like scenes and pictures and stuff from it. So I've always wanted to just see where that came from.
I'm sure Randy has seen the movie, so. So that'll be good. Fun. I'm sure he'll be excited.
Well,
all right, cool.
I watched it this weekend, and I'm really interested to hear your guys' input on it. So yeah,
cool. And
does it count as a horror movie? Is it a horror movie? Happy Halloween, guys! Vampire's Kiss. Let's do it.
Yeah, I was to say I saw it put on maybe Shudder again.
Oh yeah,
it got put on something recently. I saw it not too long ago.
Yeah, I streamed it, so it's out there.
Cool. Yeah, I'm totally down. Let's do it.
See here. It has the chick from Flashdance in it. Let's see here. Yeah, it's on Tubi.
Okay. Good old Tubi.
Awesome.
That'll work.
I'm so glad. I could have sworn you guys were going to be like, oh, yeah, we did that on the third podcast we ever did. We saw that like 5 years ago when we were watching all these movies together. And I was like, dun, 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 here it comes. But I'm so glad.
Good pick.
I'm so glad to
I
hear.
mean, it's supposed to be one of his just like classic, crazy
totally.
Nicolas Cage performances, right?
Yeah.
Just I'm expecting just bonkers madness, crazy Cage. So
Awesome. Sounds
Cool.
good. All right. Well, everybody watching, get your pre-watch in, and we will be discussing Vampire's Kiss next week. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
later.